The Caribbean is probably one of the most diverse places on this earth, with various mixtures of cultures, languages, traditions, religions, you name it. However, in all their similarities, there exist distinctive differences between them, majorly crafted around the terms of development. The Caribbean is often termed as small island developing states, or SIDS. Now one may ask, what is SIDS? Well, SIDS are a distinctive group of developing states that tend to share similar specific social, economic, and environmental vulnerabilities, some of which include the heavy dependence on petroleum products and indigenous biomass fuels, the susceptibility to natural disasters, and climate changes with the rises in sea levels. Due to the aforementioned factors, their growth and development has inevitably been stunted, but with the intervention of industrial engineering, many of the problems faced by SIDS can be significantly diminished and in some cases totally eliminated.
Carbon dioxide is the most significant contributing gas to global warming as a result of burning fossil fuels. Other climatic changes include natural disasters and sea level rising, which we will discuss later on. One of the major issues of SIDS in the Caribbean is the heavy dependence on petroleum products and indigenous biomass fuels. Because of this, we ask the question, how can industrial engineering address this issue? They can do this in the area of renewable energy through the use of carbon reduction strategies, which includes the use of combined cycle technology in power generation and reducing GHG emissions such as carbon capture and storage. The combined cycle power plant produces high outputs at high efficiencies, getting up to 68% electricity. In the conventional power plant, we are only getting 32% electricity, and the remaining 67% goes as waste. The process allows for exhaust heat to be reused that would otherwise be lost through the exhaust stack. Carbon capture and storage reduces CO2 emissions from industries and burning fossil fuels. Industrial engineers in the manufacturing of steel and cement can ensure the use of this technology in the fight of climate change, since it will cost 70% more without this method. Other strategies include introducing more efficient steam reforming technology, introducing high efficiency electric motors, and implementing efficiency and pollution audits. The topic of climate change brings us back to the previously mentioned rising sea level, another major issue of SIDS. As water gets warmer, it takes up more space. Each drop of water expands by a little bit, but when you multiply this over the entire depth of the ocean, it all adds up and causes sea level to rise. Rising sea level is also caused by melting glaciers and the ice sheets adding more water to the oceans. World Bank issued a climate change warning to the Caribbean, stating that a rise in sea level could have catastrophic effects for the Caribbean. Saltwater erosion and coastal flooding will be just a couple of the most serious consequences of this phenomenon, since 70% of the Caribbean population lives on coast. This is a difficult problem faced by engineers, but there are some strategies industrial engineering can implement that will save money and structures. One of the most effective strategies include importing a great deal of fill, where we can raise the site above the base of flood elevations to about 3.5 feet before construction takes place on coastal areas. Using adaptive flood management, we can monitor the situation every year and build and break up the water as it comes into the area. Also, innovating landscaping features within the area to help manage the rising sea levels within the soil.
While most of these SIDS in the Caribbean are heavily reliant on that of tourism, these proud SIDS are also very diverse. They produce agricultural products which are prized by the global economies and also created fishing industries for themselves. These SIDS use all their natural resources to their fullest so as to help build and develop their economy and by extension, their island. SIDS in the Caribbean are very susceptible to these natural disasters, therefore they are deemed inevitable. Tourism and agriculture are mainly devastated by earthquakes, droughts, storm surges, flooding, and hurricanes. Due to this, SIDS suffer a great loss economically, socially, and environmentally. Question arises again, how can industrial engineering address this situation? Well, by strengthening national frameworks, by the implementation of proper building standards and codes such as to withstand earthquakes and powerful flooding, augmenting the capacity and resources for SIDS to predict such disasters beforehand, such as satellite equipment for storm surges and hurricanes, new and improved Richter scales for better measurement and prediction of earthquakes, so as to have faster response and preparedness towards these natural disasters. Proper agricultural practices can help reduce the impact of such natural disasters, such as avoid planting on flat land and rather plant on hillsides, therefore preventing the flooding out of crops and eventually the agricultural industry. Building coastal barriers to mitigate coastal erosion and also protect the coral reefs even from tsunamis, hence conserving the ecosystem and by large tourism. This, however, can't be done alone. It will take the partnership and support from the international community to help these SIDS develop and build a sustainable future for these younger generations to come.